Welcome back, yogis. Sorry about that. It seems that we're having a few technical issues here. New technology. It's all a learning curve in this new way of living that we're experiencing. Come on back. It's now time to move into caterpillar pose. So we're going to bring our feet to the front of the mat. Once again, there's a lot of activity that occurs through the back of the legs. So if you need any support here from a bolster, cushions, blocks, blankets, whatever is available, please go find those and then come and join me here. Feet hip width apart, and then find a place where you're comfortable sitting. Again, sciatica. Be really aware of this in these poses, and be connected enough to know that if you've gone too far, to draw around a little bit. And we lay forward gently across the tops of our thighs and surrender entirely into this pose. Allow yourself just to release around the top of the rim of the back of the pelvic bowl. Really breathe some space into that. And you can feel the breath land through the back body as the ribs expand. And here we will stay for the next little while. So once again, just bring the awareness back to the soles of your feet. Your toes. Now just let them release and relax. You're feeling the heel support you onto the earth in this pose. The back of the legs are being supported by a yoga prop as minor, or they may be long to the mat. You may be able to feel that wonderful feeling of your ribs landing on your inner thighs if you were supported as deeply as I am here. And then just allow yourself the opportunity to let the chin go to wherever is comfortable for you just now. If you would like to keep the chin lifted, then pop a little cushion just in underneath the chest here to drop the chin down onto. Otherwise, allow yourself here that wonderful sense of surrender. I began the corridor around ahimsa, the first of the yamas, the observances that Patanjali talks a lot about in the Yoga Sutras. Ahimsa is about being kind, being accepting, forgiving of self and others. It's a wonderful concept to bring in, of observance, to bring into your practice, especially when we're working into the biggest part of the body, into the hips. So can you be here with kindness? Can you be accepting of the pose and where your body is in that pose? Can there be forgiveness of self if the mind is desiring more? It's balance, once again. Using drishti, that one-pointed awareness, it's not only external, it can be internal as well, where you're focusing perhaps in the third eye center, or a white dot of light, a little speck of light. So whatever that needs to be for you, bring that awareness back. Be focused. And wrap your practice in the concept of ahimsa and the observances of that. Stay for a breath in. Good. Come on out of this pose nice and slowly with me. Once again, just pop all the support that you have used or not off onto the side of the mat. We're going to land into a lovely pose next of shoelace. Shoelace is a little bit of a challenge for a lot of people, so we're going to take some time with this again. Lengthen the left leg to the front of the room, and then from here there's a big external rotation that lands on the right side. So externally rotating the knee out to the side, and then the outer right knee lands on top of the left There's a lot of action going on through the back of your left leg just here. A lot of engagement happening into the calf muscle, perhaps, maybe even into the back of your knee. So here, find something. I just happen to have a myofascial ball, as I do, next to me, and pop it just underneath that knee to release that pressure. And it's going to give you a little bit more enjoyment in being in this pose and a deeper opportunity to surrender. And from here, you can just gently fold forward. Once again, sciatica, if that's in your life, take some care. Neck and shoulder injuries, keep the chin lifted. If this is too deep for you, you can simply come into a cross-leg version. You're still getting this lovely external rotation on the right side, and then you may be able to just bring the forearms forward and land into this. And similarly, if you are able and have access to the body, you may now wish to bring your left foot to the outside of your right hip. So just rock off onto the left hip and tuck that foot in beside you into full shoelace pose. So there is literally a place for every one of us to land somewhere. Find the space to stay and breathe your way through the experience that is occurring for you with ahimsa just now. I'm keeping time. The joys of live streaming. Ladies, we're all over halfway. Do you need to adjust or modify to be anywhere else just now? It's time now to slowly, very, very slowly, walk off to the side of the mat. Unravel these legs, get these in space now. Come back into window wipers. Soles of the feet to the mat, a little wider than the hips forward the knees. Bring the hands around behind you. And then as you exhale, just rolling these wonderful, soft, gentle movements through the pelvic bowl, right and left side. And again, to the left. And come on over to the right side. Good. Now coming back center, you may feel a little imbalanced here, but we're going to move through the dragon series on the right side. So move the weight into the sole of the right foot, bringing the left knee to the mat and lengthening that leg out to the back of the room. Good. Let me just get some time going here. Once again, bring your props in. Yesterday, I was trying to be creative with yoga props, and I found this big candle here worked really well. Of course, not lit. I do have a random box of tarot cards that were absolutely exceptional. They're very similar to a block. We found a container, a Supine container, worked really well. So just being creative in these really new times of our lives and finding ways to be able to support yourself in your yoga practice. You may have a creative streak where you can find a piece of wood and cut that down to size. It's quite nice to be able to be a little creative in these kind of ways. So whatever works for you, go find it. And keep it close in your practice always. Bring your forearms up onto your right knee. And allow yourself the joy of landing into this dragon pose with a little bit more weight above. Notice how this lands on the inner thigh on the left side and through the front of your hip flexors. In this day of our lives, in these changing days, I'm experiencing a lot of contraction through my body as I'm seated, not nearly as busy as I would normally be. So the yin practice has become the balance to what my new life is now. It is the counterpose to how I live a little bit more quieter than normal. It gives me the opportunity to find a balance through the muscular body and keeping me freedom and movement. Bring your hands down to the inside of your right foot and then walk your right foot to the outside of your right hip. It's going to allow your shoulders the space to land into the palms of the hands. Any time that you would like to stop and just hold the pose, then that is your yin journey, and I encourage that. But there are other places that we can land as well, and these are just offerings. So from here, you may be able to now bring your arms down onto a block, a bolster, any other creative support you have there, and then just drop down a little bit into the inside of your right leg. Getting a little bit more activity through the front left hip flexor here. And here you may wish to stay. But if you would like to go further, you can now turn your right foot out 45 degrees, as I have here. Please pick the toes up so the ankle and the shin are engaged here. The external rotation is purely from the hip socket. So now see if you can roll to the outside edge of your right foot and feel that wonderful support through the ankle, so you're not rolling through the ankle joint. That wonderful openness through the right side. You may need to push down through the top of your left foot and just reposition your knees slightly so that it's not internally rotating or externally rotating, but lovingly long from the hip to the knee to the ankle behind you. Good. And here you may stay. You may wish to now come down onto your left forearm and then draw the left heel into the buttock. Take hold of the outside of your left ankle with your right hand. Draw this into the buttock as close as is comfortable for you, so no suffering here. And then roll the right shoulder capsule to the sky. Try to avoid dropping off to the left side, so keep the external rotation still going strongly on the right. And just stay here. Gently releasing. Good. 2 hands into the mat. Walk your right foot back in line with the right hip. Tuck the left toes, yogis. This is not an active dog pose. It is a transitional dog pose. Please come with me and find this wonderful, soft, gentle version for a few breaths. Dropping the knees down to the mat. Good. Crossing the ankles with these. That's the second side. Let's go and find shoelace and the variations on the left side. So, left leg in front, Shavasana, if you'd like to be here. Right leg lengthened, externally rotating through the left side here. Support underneath the back of the right knee if you need to be there, and then folding down here, or coming into the full pose by inviting the right foot to the outside of your left hip. Come on through, come join me here. And then let's go and find in time, which is my job to keep. Let's go and find some space. Let's embrace the silence and grow our pose here. In a moment, yogis, it's going to be time to transition out of the shoelace pose. Take your time. Bring the hands in towards the pelvis. Breathe in, lifting up out of this pose. Beautiful. Unravel into window wipers. Rolling from one side to the other. Not in a hurry, but just to your breath. That breath that we investigated, that we dived into at the beginning of our class. And we looked at the possibilities of landing in Kumbhaka, in the space at the top of the inhale, and in the space at the bottom of the exhale. So you can just land there as we just roll one more time to each side of the body. And as all things in life are seeking balance, so too do we need to in our yin practice. It's time to come through to the dragon series on the left side. Come on through, grab your support, land here with me. You may have become aware that if you are in silence in your yin class this morning, how much more attuned that your hearing comes to noises within the room and then a little beyond. And that's the joy of sometimes being in stillness and being in silence. And those are the noises, that's the range of noise that we miss when life is so busy. Bring your forearms up onto your left knee, remembering that wherever you need to stop through this wonderful journey, of discovering the hips in the Dragon series. That is where you stay. You find that space where you can release and truly surrender, where you find the joy in being in the pose. Anything beyond that is an indication you've gone a little too far. So just kick back a level or two, and then just stay and enjoy. Practice the concept and the observances of self with ahimsa, kindness. Interesting, we'll often be kind to others. We struggle to be kind to self. Come on down. Just move your left foot to the outside. Notice how this shift lands physically, mentally, emotionally, with the breath. Play with this a little bit more. Perhaps you'd like to come down deeper to land the inside of your left thigh. Right forearm, turn the left foot out, lift the toes up. Let's remember to do that externally rotating here. And then we're going to grow the pose to wherever you would like to be. But let there be balance on both the left and right side. Alrighty, let's release very slowly. 2 hands to the mat. Walk the left foot back in line. Transition, tucking the right toes, hands into the earth, dog pose. A lovely, gentle little inversion. Right, not actively being here, so you can have a massive big bend in the knees if you would like to. But just be connected through the soles of the feet and the palms of the hands. And notice the activity that happens through this inversion from the waist to the crown of your head. Walk the feet out if you need a little bit more movement. Wonderful, yogis. Drop the knees to the mat. I'm just going to switch over to the side of my mat. As we move into a supported bridge pose, take your block or any other creative nunnery effects New Zealand support you have devised for your practice today. Any height, any orientation that you would like underneath your pelvic bowl, please go and find it. Feet hip width apart, roll the spine up so you feel the weight of the pose into the soles of the feet and the shoulders and the arms, and then just pop your support in underneath. You may just need to push into the back of the head to roll the shoulders in together. And then here we stay. Just enjoying this wonderful extension through the front of the body. Right, there's going to be some variations offered here. You don't need to be more than just being in this pose. The extension through the spine is being offered to whatever the body is available to you today. Or you can start to extend. So I've just lifted the height of the block up. It's giving a little bit more openness through the front of my pelvic bowl. We talked about how life has changed, and there could be more contraction through that part of divine self for you. These are wonderful ways to be able to open up through the front of the body on the front line. And from here, staying at this height with the block underneath the pelvis, or you may need to adjust it. See if you can lengthen just the right leg so it rests onto the heel. And if you're feeling uncomfortable with the support underneath the pelvis, perhaps you need to place a little bit of cushion, a little bit more softening, padding there to help get you into these poses, to support the body. Good, and then draw the right knee in and lengthen the left leg. Just notice how this is feeling. Only going as far through what is being offered as you're comfortable being in. I'm going to drop the block down onto another orientation as I lengthen both my legs out. And just breathing here. You're going to stay. I'm going to come out. And just keep checking time in your practice here. Perhaps here you could find the inner drishti. If you're comfortable closing the eyes, then do that. Close them. Become aware of the breath, the sound of that om inhale and exhale is uniquely yours. And as you are here, supported with either the legs extended or the feet into the earth, as you breathe, you feel this wonderful sense of freedom and openness in the front of the body. And then you just are very accepting of letting the breath go when you are ready. So there's no rule about how fast or slow you breathe. But just bringing the awareness to it, you can sometimes change that experience. Land in that kumbhaka, that space that exists there for everybody at the top of the inhale and the bottom of the exhale. But you're just going to stay here for a few more breaths. That wonderful sense of exploring, that deeper sense of self in these poses. Alrighty, if you have extended your legs, please bring them back and standing underneath the knees, feet and the earth. And all together, yogis, let's press into the soles of the feet and lift the pelvis up. Just pop the block off to the side of the room. But hold the pelvis there for another inhale, and then now slowly and gently roll yourself back down to the earth. Your feet should still be hip-width apart. Just bring the knees together and get really big with your breath through the belly. Wonderful. Draw your knees into your chest and give yourself a big hug here. As you're laid on your mat, let's go and find a lovely sense of twisting to our breath, and then we'll land into a twist. If you bring the feet to standing, they should still be there. The knees now separate, and bring the arms out to the side of the room. So there are two variations here that I'll offer this morning. Bring the feet wider, and you can keep the feet on the earth, and as you breathe out, they go to the right side. Or you can draw the knees into the chest. And as we breathe out together, to the right side. So a little bit more support, feet into the earth. If you'd like to move freely with them tucked in, please do. Inhale, come back center. Good, and as you exhale, knees to the left, take your vision to the right. Breathe in, come back center. And the vision to the sky. Exhale to the right, looking left. Good. The feet are on the earth, stay there, breathe in, come on back center into the soles of the feet. As you exhale to the left, look right. Let's do this one more time to each side. Breathe in, come back center. Exhale, right, looking left. Good, breathe in, come back center. Let's go find the rotation in the spine. Left, looking right. This time as you come back center, you may wish to find a deeper twist, twisted roots. Or you can stay where you are. Bring your left leg up over the right as if you're crossing the knees. Press into the sole of your right foot and shuffle your hips off to the left side. So you're moving a little bit more onto the right hip here. And then allow the knees to drip off towards the right side. You may need to place a block underneath your inner left knee for support here. Please do that. And then just focus on lengthening your outer left hip towards your soles of your feet. The vision to the left side, if the neck and shoulders allow you to be here.
Good. Wherever you are in your twist, come on back center. Place 2 feet into the earth, especially if you've taken twisted roots. And as you lift the pelvis up, you'll notice it gently swung to the right side. So we're just realigning before we go and find the other side. Right knee over the left. Press into the sole of your left foot. Shuffle your hips off. Good. Now go find the twist. Lengthen the outer right hip. Good. Be soft through the breath. Be gentle with the gaze.
Alrighty, ladies, it's time to come on back center. So wherever you are, come back into the sole of the feet, or the soles of your feet, and then unravel. If you have the bind, please lift the pelvis up, both feet into the earth, lift the pelvis up, realign through there. I think it's time for you now to move into your Shavasana pose. And that can look and feel so many different ways for you. Laying down onto your mat, bring the awareness to the pelvis, and if you feel there's a little tension there, bring a bolster or blankets or cushions in underneath the back of your knees to give you a little bit of ease. Similarly, you may need something behind your neck to help, just to open up and freedom through the front of the chest. If you'd like some support running the length of the spine and come into its supta, then find that now. There you go. You need a blanket. I encourage you to go find one so you're nice and snuggled in your Shavasana pose this morning. And then we just allow ourselves that very challenging place for some of us to land in, utter surrender. Feeling completely and utterly supported. You may even wish to bring blankets, cushions or blocks in underneath your forearms so that you feel nurtured in every way in this Shavasana. And then if you're comfortable closing the eyes, do that. Open the jaw, wriggle it from the left to the right, and then very gently close the jaw and let the lower jaw be loose, soft. Now bring the awareness to the soles of your feet and your toes. Curl the toes up here. Spanda, nishpanda, release. Let the tension go and let them relax. Bring the awareness to your ankle joint. You can feel the heel of your foot, right and left, supporting you in the earth. And you just soften through your lower leg. Just release. No effort needed here now. Bring your awareness into your knee joint, to the front of the knee, and to the back. Release them. And let them just melt. As you breathe in, your awareness comes up into your thighs. Let them be soft. And now bring your awareness down onto the pelvic bowl, the front of the pelvic bowl, feeling spacious here, soft and relaxed. Your buttocks supporting you in Papatūānuku. And as you next inhale, breathe space into every disc and vertebra through the spinal column. You feel that inhale expand the ribs in the front of the belly, puku. And then softening everything as you let that breath go. And now to the front of your chest, the front of your shoulder capsules. There may still be tension here. Let it go. Release. and let them soften. Feel the back of your shoulders on the earth supporting you. Your upper arms, your elbow joints, your lower arms, your wrists, the back of your hands, the palms of your hands, and your 10 fingers. The awareness now moves to your neck. Let it be soft. Ask nothing of it just now. To the lower jaw, to your lips, cheeks, your ears, nasal cavities, eyes, eyelids, eyebrows, your third eye center. Your forehead is relaxed and soft. The crown of the head melting. Your whole body is melting into your mat. Somewhere along that journey, and through our divine bodies, you may have lost the sound of my voice. You dropped into your Shavasana. You found that lovely sense of freedom there. And just now, yogis, it's time to come out of your Shavasana slumber, just breath by breath, very slowly and gently. There's no need to open the eyes. Just gently starting to lift out of that wonderful place of space, of silence, comfort and love, and ease. The awareness comes back to being in the room with familiar sounds immediately around you and beyond. The sense of taste has landed back into the mouth. Your lips may be dry. Smell. Very gently, all of this is landing as the breath increases. Allow the fingers to gently start to move and your toes. And then from here, just bring your knees into your chest and give yourself a wonderful, divine, big, long hug. Roll over to either your right or left side, whichever one takes you, whichever side is calling. And then come on up, join me at the front of the mat. Your hands to your heart center. That wonderful gesture of kindness and love that we have for ourselves, and giving yourself this time. And what is a challenge in life just now? To land on your mat, to find that wonderful opportunity to be somewhere else, to find the balance in life and in your body. Bring your thumbs to your third eye center, yogis. Namaste. It's been a joy to have you in my little whare this morning. Thank you for coming to join us. Apologies once again for our little technical difficulties, but we can only get better. So now it's up to you to go and enjoy that wonderful life that's waiting for you with family and friends enjoy Easter Sunday and go and be amazing. We'll see you again next time.